Our paranormal quest has brought us here to Wilder, Kentucky, to the infamous Bobby Mackey's Music World. Many people believe that the tragic history of this building has helped to open up a portal to the spirit world. In just a few moments, we are going to enter inside to learn truly how dark the history of this old honky-tonk is.
All right, so we are here inside Bobby Mackey's Music World now, one of America's most haunted honky-tonks, and one of the first things that's pretty striking that when you come in through the front doors, there's a warning. This sign that warns patrons is not because of some of the things that they do during their live music shows or because of the food or alcohol that they serve here. There is a sign on the wall warning the patrons about the paranormal activity and the spirits that may be on premises, saying that the management is not responsible if anyone happens to have any actions or interactions or even is attacked by the spirits here at Bobby Mackey's. So that's probably one of the most striking things as soon as you walk in through the front door.
1943. That's when it opened up as the Primrose Country Club, and then it changed over to be the Latin Quarter. So the story of Johanna, we assume it originated with the Latin Quarter. If you know the story of Carl Lawson, who was the caretaker here, he claimed that he found a diary or a journal down in the well in the basement. And in the journal, it told Johanna's story. It said that she was a dancer in the club. Again, we presume they mean the Latin Quarter. And her father owned the club. And she became pregnant. Her father didn't approve, so he had her boyfriend killed. And then she was so upset that she poisoned her father and committed suicide. Nobody's ever even found the journal, to be perfectly honest. Carl found the journal. Like I said, he claimed that he saw the spirit of a woman who told him to go in the basement and dig. So he did. He went down there and tore up the floor and supposedly found this journal. The problem is, and I don't mean to disparage Carl in any way, but he never showed the journal to anybody. There were no photographs taken of it. So nobody ever saw that it actually existed. And since that time that the stories come out, people have done massive amounts of research. As you know now, it's pretty easy to do with everything being online, and it's so easy to find records of things. Nobody's found any evidence that she existed, that she was real. Because back when Carl was first telling the story, back in the late 80s, I suppose, it wasn't quite as easy to dig through records and find that information as it is now. The only thing I'll add to the end of that, even though I just said it's all untrue, is that you have to wonder why he tore up the floor in the basement. I mean, he claimed it was Johanna that told him to do it. You know, if she's not a real person, something told him to do it. So that's always puzzled me. Like, so maybe it wasn't Johanna that told him, but something seriously compelled him to go down there and uncover that well. So there has to be something to it. Maybe not Johanna, but something.
What's interesting is through all the legend, through all the stories that people tell about Bobby Mackey's Music World, there is some sort of energy and there are some entities that are here. People that lived here, like Carl Lawson on the premises, had experiences. People that work here had experiences. And even Bobby Mackey himself, even though he doesn't really claim to believe in the paranormal, even Bobby Mackey has said that he's had some strange things happen inside this bar. And what's interesting is as patrons come into this bar, into this honky-tonk, this country music bar, they come in feeding energy to the spirits that are actually still here. And they say that... What was that?
That was interesting.
It's not metallic.
Yeah.
Come in feeding energy to the spirits that are actually still here. And they say that... Well, if there's anyone here with us, we're going to be spending the night here tonight, and we would love if you would come out and communicate with us. We would love if you would come and interact with us, tell us your name, and tell us your story. And we're going to be here throughout the night.
The actual history of the well, I know everyone talks about a slaughterhouse, but the actual truth is, back in 1876, they built a distillery here, and it was called the Old 76 Distillery. And the distillery actually dug 3 of those tunnels, is really what they are. They go out to the Licking River, which is right behind us. So there's 3 of them. There's one beneath us, there's one on the north end of the parking lot, and one on the south end of the parking lot. And they use those with a big pump, some kind of machine, to pull water up from the river to make whiskey. So Pearl was, obviously, she was a real person, and she really was murdered in 1896. The legend is that when she was murdered, Scott Jackson and Alonzo Walling, they're the two guys that killed her, that they brought her head here to the slaughterhouse, which we know wasn't here at the time, took her head downstairs, did some kind of satanic ritual over the well, and threw her head in the well. That's the legend. And that's what everybody likes to hear. You know, it's a spectacular, gruesome story. But the truth is, she was murdered in what is now Fort Thomas, which is just a couple miles away. But nobody knows what happened to her head. The only connection she really has to this building is that they stopped outside because the guy that was driving the horse and buggy that they brought Pearl into Kentucky, he testified at their trial that he could hear Pearl in the back screaming and moaning and crying, and he got scared. So in his testimony, he said he pulled over in front of the distillery. Those were his exact words, which means he pulled over right out front here. And he asked them to get out, and they refused. And supposedly Alonzo pulled a gun on him and told him to keep going. So he kept going into Fort Thomas, and that's where she was killed when they got out of the cab. And I know I've just totally debunked every myth and legend about the place, but that in no way means that this place is not haunted. Because personally, I've seen and heard and felt so many things here. I would never tell anybody that it's not haunted. But a portal, I mean, if that's how they get in, then there must be one. Is it the well? I don't know.
I kind of want to go up and see where Carl used to live, because that's one of the things Carl Lawson, who was the caretaker of the building, who even had an exorcism performed on him right over here in the dining area. He actually is believed to be one of the spirits now that he passed away in 2012. So let's actually go upstairs into Carl's old apartment and see if he could still be here. Now, if it's any indication that Carl is still here, that people believe that Carl is still here, it has to be the fact that people leave bottles of alcohol and cigarettes up here for Carl. And a lot of people who knew him, a lot of people that actually got to interact with him when he was the caretaker of this establishment, they all believe that he's here as well. People have captured EVPs with his voice in it. And Carl himself could be here tonight, and hopefully we're able to interact with him on some level during our investigation tonight. As far as the exorcism goes, there's a lot of interesting stories behind that. In the time that Carl lived here, he himself believed that he was very oppressed by these evil spirits. He believed them to be demons, but they were negative entities that were influencing his mood, influencing him in negative ways, to the point to where they actually had to call in an exorcist to expel these demons or these spirits from his body. And that in and of itself could be a telltale sign of, what type of spirits may reside here at Bobby Mackey's Music World.
The apartment upstairs where Carl lived, that was kind of a private gambling room back then. So I would imagine there were a lot of city officials and politicians who did private business up there that nobody knew about. Of course, prostitution was probably an issue, and just illegal gambling in itself, because gambling wasn't legal here. So the club would get raided a lot, because there's bullet holes in the door down in the basement. So I'm guessing a murder or two might have happened. I don't have any proof of that, but I would gamble that it did.
So we're now down in the basement here at Bobby Mackey's Music World, and right over here in this door, you can see remnants of some of the violent activity from these gambling establishments that would have ran operations and business out of this building. You can see right here in the door what would be 4, maybe even possibly more, bullet holes from where gunshots, firearms were fired off inside this basement. And who knows who was shot by them? Who knows if they died? I don't know if anyone would ever know about that. So this is kind of interesting and very telling about the early history of this building and what it was like to live or work here in this building. But there's another story that is very notorious with Bobby Mackey's Music World, and that is the story of the well, a well that has been claimed to be a portal to hell or a portal to the spirit world. But the well that is the center of those stories is right here. From what we understand, this well was actually dug down to the Licking River to bring water in for the distillery. I'm sure everyone's heard the story of Pearl Bryan, a woman who was attacked and murdered by two men, Scott and Alonzo. And they said they did a satanic ritual, a devil worshiping ritual, cut her head off and threw it down in this well. Now, from what Laura had said, that's not entirely accurate. There may not be any connection between Pearl Bryan and this well. There's even some rumors saying that down here in this basement there was a jail cell that was used to lock up individuals who may have tried to cheat the mob in their gambling establishments. Maybe that could be why there's a lot of energy inside this building. But there's a lot of hauntings, there's a lot of energy in this building, and we are so excited to get started here. So I think it's time to actually set up our cameras for abandonment and get this investigation rolling.
All right, so we're getting ready to get started here at Bobby Mackey's. We're on the main floor, right out here on the dance floor. We've got a few devices set up throughout the area here, and we're going to see if we can make communication with anything or anyone.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, I just wanted to say hello to everybody. We've come a long way to come and speak with you. My name is Dave, this is Steve, Ryan, and Jason. We're going to be here for the night. And we're hoping that you'll come out and you'll talk with us. Would you do that for us? We've got a couple different ways that you can communicate with us. There's some plastic balls on the floor there. You can move those, try and roll them. It would definitely be easy on this floor. Is anybody here for a show? Carl, are you here with us? We know you strongly believe this place was haunted.
We'd love for someone to come over and dance for us some over here on the floor. Can you come dance for us?
I'm gonna film for a minute. I don't really have much to say.
We came here tonight to this building to talk to anyone who has anything to say to us. We've heard a lot of stories. We've heard of a lot of people who have felt you, seen you, and heard you. And we'd love to get the opportunity to do that as well. There's something over there on that table in the center, if you can see it, that you can pull energy from. Right now, as I speak, it's putting off electricity into the air. And you can use that energy to talk to us, or you can use the energy from any one of us as well.
The four of us here, we all love music. We'd love to talk to you about some music. What's your favorite Bobby Mackey song?
There's a knock on the back.
Huh?
There's a knock back over here.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's a knock on the back.
Huh?
There's a knock back over here.
Yeah, I heard that.
Are you back there? Is that walking?
It's like, yeah, just like if someone were walking, like the weight distributing on the floor. You know?
Yeah. Is that walking?
Can you walk up to either one of us?
It's getting closer.
Yeah. Could you walk up to either one of us?
It's getting closer.
Yeah.
Come on up this way.
We've never really partied here, but we've heard this place, it's quite the lively establishment whenever the doors are open. Can you guys show us how you guys like to party here? Maybe come over here on the dance floor and stomp your boots, dance a little bit, play some music maybe.
I'm gonna set this over.
This is the area where Carl's exorcism took place.
I'm walking. Those little taps or whatever, those little knocks are coming, I think, coming back from here.
What was that?
That was weird.
What the hell was that?
Some kind of a scream or whistle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason just said he heard the whistle.
That was clear.
Where'd it come from?
I'm not sure.
I don't even know. It sounded like it came from all around me. Those little taps or whatever, those little knocks, I think, come back from here. What was that? That was weird. Those little taps or whatever, those little knocks, I think, come back from here. What was that? That was weird.
I heard a whistle.
The spirits that were oppressing Carl after he got you to leave his body, where did you go? Did you stay here? Are you sitting over there on that couch? If that was you that whistled, can you whistle again for us?
Whoa.
What's that?
There's a tapping right here on this chair. Whoa. Did you not hear that?
I heard it.
I did, but I got spaced out there for a second. Feeling really off balance. Is there someone around me right now?
Got a full bar over here. Would someone like a drink?
I just feel dizzy up here, but that's about it. That could just be.
Do you think the floor is angled up there like it is everywhere else?
That's what I was thinking. There's a lot of.
Even if it's not the floor, the building itself is.
Yeah,
That could cause you to feel like you're off balance.
yeah, that could be what it is.
Because I feel like I'm falling backwards all the time right here, but that's because the floor's going backwards. So.
Yeah. It's tough in here with those refrigerators at the bar.
Yeah.
Like you hear something, but you don't know whether you hear it or not because the refrigerators are drowning out everything that we're hearing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think? You guys want to move to the basement?
Let's do it.
I'm game.
Get away from all the contamination noise?
Yeah.
All right, so we're about to enter the basement here, and Dave is going to conduct an Estes session with the S-Box. I'm going to run the SLS camera here, and hopefully we'll be able to come into contact with somebody in here.
Let's do it.
We'll identify this, something on the left side. What is that on the left?
The pillar, I think.
Okay.
Whoa, what was that?
What?
I bumped the door.
No, I heard that. Something up here. Which would be right where Carl's exorcism took place, right above us. It was loud. The pillar, I think.
Okay.
Whoa, what was that?
What?
I bumped the door.
No, I heard that. Something up here. If there's anyone down here with us, Dave is in the room with the whale. Dave's in the room with the whale, and he's got a box that he's going to try and use to talk to you. What's your name? There's a lot of stories about that well. A lot of people believe that that's a portal to the spirit world. What was that?
What the heck was that? I heard it down here.
Dave?
That was a whistle.
That was weird.
That
We'll have to
was
review.
so clear.
Yeah. What was that?
What the heck was that?
Dave?
Can you whistle again? Would you please?
I'm absolutely covered in cold chills.
Yeah, I know, Dave. That sound
Very uneasy feeling.
came from in there with him. Are you touching me on the back right now? Right on my right shoulder blade. It's really intense. I don't know what it is. Are you in here with us?
Someone is inside the dressing room. If you stand in the doorway, I should be able to see you.
Guys, I just heard Dave whisper something. What?
Huh?
I just heard Dave whisper something.
That's strange.
Dave? Guys, I just heard Dave whisper something. What? Was that you guys?
Yeah, I'm trying to see when I'm walking.
Jason's having trouble seeing because even though it looks like it's really, really bright in here because of our infrared night shot, we can't see that infrared light, so this is what we're seeing. We're seeing absolutely nothing.
What's your name?
You can see right here in the door what would be 4, maybe even possibly more bullet holes from where gunshots, firearms were fired off inside this basement.
What's your name?
If you're in the room with Dave, go up and tell him who is around us. We can feel you down here.
Still feeling extremely uncomfortable.
Who's near Dave right now? He says he's uncomfortable.
Thought I heard a female say yes.
Why are you making him feel uncomfortable?
I just heard my name.
What is your name? Dave knows his name. What is your name?
Off.
There's been stories of people getting attacked down here. Why do you attack people down here?
You guys hear that?
What?
Like shuffling back in here, I think. To my right.
Feeling extremely uncomfortable. Back away.
Are you getting near Dave? Can you go stand in front of Jason so he can see you on that camera that he has?
Are you guys still down here?
Yes. Why? Dave?
Is Dave okay?
He asked, are you guys still down here? You alright?
Oh, I'm extremely uncomfortable.
I heard you ask, are you guys still down here? I was just outside that window.
I haven't heard much come through here, but I'm feeling extremely on edge.
Yeah, I felt really weird out there too.
Where are they at?
Down there by the dressing rooms.
I'll keep going. I don't know. It just felt very strange.
It's like soft shuffling. Every time I turn around, I hear something slightly move behind me. And that back here is creepy.
Dressing room?
No, back behind it, the little cubby area.
Oh, okay.
Who's in this room with me? What's your name? What is your name?
Why are you down here in the basement? If someone is over by David, is it just you or you got someone with you?
Who's in there with Dave? What is that well in the floor behind him?
I'm something.
You are what? What are you?
Four.
Four.
Are there 4 of you?
There's 4 of us.
It's true.
Who's in here? Come out and show yourself.
Was someone shot in this room?
What is this thing right here?
It's like insulation hanging down or something.
Stopping on the Estes.
Okay.
We're right outside the door.
Circuit time.
I'm coming in the door, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, coming at you. I didn't want to keep moving far. We only were there a minute, but I didn't want to scare you.
Phew. Oh.
Did that uneasy feeling ever subside?
Kind of, but not really.
Do we want to maybe give a break on the SLS for now? My hand is starting to get really hot.
We can, yeah. Anything unexplained?
Not so much. I tried to map, and kind of understand a few surfaces, but nothing that seemed abnormal.
All right, so we are headed upstairs to change some batteries here. Our next stop is going to be Carl's apartment here in just a few minutes. We left Steve in the basement by himself. He has the headphones on with a constant stream of white noise going through the headphones so he can't hear any of the ambient sound. He's going to see what he can pick up on, see what he can experience down there. And we have multiple meters and equipment set up around him to pick up on anything that might happen. So we're going to head upstairs here.
My name's Steve. I'm down here by myself. I'm sure you guys know that by now. We have some devices running, I'm sure you know by now, that can potentially pick you up visually or audibly with your voice. I cannot hear what's going on around me. I've taken away that sensory that I have. I can't hear you.
Hey there, everyone. You wouldn't expect that to be the end of the investigation, but actually it is. And there's a funny story behind that, but first off, yes, I did get my hair cut, and you know, who needs continuity anyway? But the funny story is that we were under the impression all day and all evening that we had paid to stay and investigate at Bobby Mackey's until 2 a.m. But it turns out actually we didn't. When Jason, Dave, and I went to go plug in batteries upstairs while Steve was alone in the basement, the staff was there ready to lock up and for us to load up our equipment and leave. It had just about 5 minutes until 1 is what the time was. And so we were very confused about what was going on, and we had to pack up all of our gear in a hurry and get out of the building so that they could lock up, and we didn't get a chance to film an ending to the investigation, and unfortunately didn't get to go up to Carl's apartment. But Bobby Mackey's was a very interesting investigation. We had gone into the investigation with a lot of expectations because the story behind Bobby Mackey's is infamous. Everyone knows the story of Pearl Bryan and the well and Johanna, and it was really interesting to find out that there's not any historical documentation or historical truth for really any of that. But we still nonetheless captured paranormal evidence that led us to believe that there may be some negative entities that haunt Bobby Mackey's music world. And maybe those negative entities like scaring people into believing that there is something evil or demonic there, because we caught voices coming through the spirit box multiple times that said that they were Satan.
Who's in this room with me?
And made Dave and everyone that was in the basement feel very uneasy when we were running that SD session.
I'm absolutely covered in cold chills. Very uneasy feeling.
If you believe something enough, if it's repeated enough, a lot of people believe through the power of thought and through the power of psychokinetic energy that you can create paranormal phenomena just from thinking about it enough. And maybe these same stories being told over and over again every day since the 1980s may have opened some sort of a portal, for lack of a better word, if not for spirits, but for these manifestations of people's own thought and imagination to manifest themselves and physically interact with the people that investigated Bobby Mackey's. But this was definitely a very interesting investigation, and we could say we left with a new appreciation and a new understanding for Bobby Mackey's music world. Now we have some amazing investigations coming up in the near future, not only haunted locations, but also haunted objects, some haunted people, families, residential cases, and we are so eager to bring you along for the ride. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the like button on this video so that more of our videos are recommended to you. But until next time, remember, as always, guys, no matter what you do, make sure that you stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next video.